What's up everyone, Sebastian with the Press Start Seb. I've had a little under a week with my Nintendo Switch, and I think it's enough time for me to give my comprehensive video for you guys. All the things I think that are good, all the things I think that are bad. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. So if you haven't already watched my unboxing video, you can go watch that to see that I got the red and blue neon Nintendo Switch. And I'm going to break this video down into kind of three categories. Category 1 is overall feel of the console in terms of like physical components and parts. Component number 2 is the user interface. How easy is it to use, to navigate the menus? Is it intuitive? Is it satisfying? Is it snappy? Pun intended, Nintendo Switch. And the third is the games. Now this segment is going to be a little limited for me because I only had Breath of the Wild, but boy do I have a lot to say about that game. So we'll start here now with the console itself. It's really small. It's almost identical to the size of the game cases. It's a little bit bigger, but in terms of form fit and how it kind of feels overall, it's the perfect amount of weight. It's got a good amount of heft. And holding it, it feels like a substantial piece of technology. It doesn't feel plasticky. It feels like when you hold it, you kind of just want it. So this is it with the Joy-Cons off, obviously. And now this is it with the Joy-Cons on. Now the Joy-Cons themselves have this this almost matte finish to them that makes them really they feel nice in your hands. And I thought after a while the buttons would be small or uncomfortable, or in terms of playing this for long periods of time, it fits in your hands wonderfully. I found with my Vita, especially because there was that touch pad on the back, I always had to kind of curl my fingers in when I was playing. But this one kind of sits in your hands nicely, forward and backwards. And overall, just as a device, when you hold it, you kind of want one, and you want to play it, and you want to experience everything that has to offer. And I think that's kind of super cool. And I gotta close my blinds because the sun decided just to pop up and fuck up my face. As for the Joy-Cons themselves, obviously they can slip in and out of the system. Now I was apprehensive in regards to playing it kind of sideways like this, particularly because the Joy-Cons are mirror images of each other. The one on the right has the thumbstick at the bottom, and the one on the left has the thumbstick at the top. Now, that normally wouldn't matter when you're playing vertically like this, but when you have to turn the controller on its side, one person gets the shaft because the stick is so close to the buttons. And honestly, when you kind of play around with it for a couple minutes, it's not that big a deal. And now the sun's behind the clouds! Thank you. Thank you for that. The lighting in this video is going to be all fucky, and I apologize. But yeah, overall, in terms of how the console feels, it's a joy to play. It's a really proof of concept when you kind of start playing around with it. If you're on the fence about whether or not you should get one, if it's cool, if you have someone that owns one, or you have an ability to go to an event in which you can kind of pick one up and play it, immediately when you pick it up, you get it. It's something just clicks, and you're like, oh, I get what they're trying to do. It's super intuitive, and then switching it from the dock to handheld mode is super easy. Although it scratches the shit out of your screen, apparently. So yeah, apparently that's a thing. I haven't really come across any problems like that. It's majority of my Switch's life has been spent in the dock, and since I heard about the scratching from the dock, I've been handling it very carefully. Now I'm gonna go see if I can get a tempered glass protector to mitigate that fact. I also heard that the plastic film can get too hot from the console and peel off, so I don't want that either. So now item number 2, we're going to talk about the user interface. The user interface is super snappy. Everything about the system just seems to be super satisfying. When the click when you snap the Joy-Con into its position, it's satisfying. The buttons are really snappy, just hitting them is satisfying. And when you navigate the menus, it's a very quick, you take a screenshot, boom, it's done immediately. You want to navigate the systems, go from the game you're playing to your albums, to the settings. It all happens very seamlessly and very quick with its signature kind of Nintendo quirks of the noises that it makes. Kind of reminds me of Animal Crossing a little bit. So that was something that I was really I was concerned about, because the Wii U system is just a fucking nightmare. To get to the settings, there's a whole separate loading screen, and you can't jump from the game to the menu to the settings, and you can't do all of that in tandem. You're either doing one or you're doing the other. So Nintendo improved upon that tremendously. The one kind of caveat that I have, and it's unique to me, it could be my internet, it could be my building. I'm in a student apartment, and our NAT type is restricted. So when I'm trying to connect my Switch to the internet, it gives me a list of possibilities to connect to, but my internet's not there. Whether or not that's the fault of the console or the fault of my internet, I've checked online on Reddit and stuff like that, and I'm not the only one that's experiencing this problem, and Nintendo's kind of given a really half-assed response, go turn it on, off and on again kind of thing. But again, I don't want to make any snap judgments because I don't know whether or not that's on my end or the console's end, or if they hopefully can patch it so it can connect a fucking NAT3 type, because otherwise I'm stranded without any internet on my Switch, so I can't play online. I can't download any demos, and I can't post pictures to social media. Now moving on to the I can't play any demos. In terms of games on this console, I've not played anything else. Like I said, I really want to play the Snipperclips demo, but I haven't been able to because no internet, and I only have Zelda. I'm broke, so I couldn't afford to spend a gajillion fucking dollars on 1-2 Switch because it should have been a packing game. So as far as Zelda's concerned, it's unbelievable. It's one of the best games I've ever played, but to say, how do I put this so people don't like lose their shit? It's not an experience that you need the Switch to play, if that makes any sense. It's not like it's pushing the boundaries, because the game is on the Wii U. It doesn't offer anything particularly revolutionary insofar as why you need it on the Switch as to why you get it on the Wii U, except for the portability component, obviously. That being said, it is a phenomenal game. The ability to take the Switch out of the dock, play it in my bed, play it on my couch, play it in my roommate's room, play it while I'm taking a shit. Like, there's a myriad of things I can do with this console, and it's very versatile. I can go over to my friend's house and I can play it. I'm going to take it on my backpack. When I go home for the weekend, I'll be able to play it at home. So there's tons of things that I can do, and that freedom to play wherever I want to play is super attractive. So that, although Zelda doesn't feel like it's specifically designed for this system, the ability to take Zelda wherever I go is hugely attractive and definitely a reason to think about purchasing this system. Now, it is really early in the system's life, so there's no things like Netflix, there's no streaming devices, Hulu, Twitch, anything like that, and there's obviously rumblings that it's going to come in the future update. Who knows how far from now? I know that they're trying to make the statement that they're non-differentiators. You're not going to buy one console over the other because of YouTube or Netflix, because you can get those things everywhere. And the sun is back again! Ah! Although it is an important thing to me, when I have limited space and I need to figure out what's going to be connected into what port and stuff like that, I'm going to want my PS4 there because it is going to give me Twitch, it is going to give me YouTube, it is going to give me Netflix, and that's important. I know that's kind of fitting a different need, but if you want to brand yourself as being a home console first, that you can take on the go, it should have home console features like Netflix and Twitch that all of the other home consoles have. And he is right insofar as they are, like, it's not going to break my decision to get the console if it doesn't have Netflix at launch. Would it make the launch more attractive? Absolutely. Is it going to really make or break someone's decision? Probably not. So overall, I give the Switch a glowing review. I love it. Just pressing the buttons and just playing around with it is super satisfying. That's the best way to explain this console. It's satisfying. The buttons have a satisfying click. The menus are satisfying to navigate. Zelda's fucking satisfying to play. It's all great, and I love it. And no Netflix, but I'll get over it. I'm sure you guys will too. So that's kind of my overall opinion of the Switch. Obviously, it's still early in the game. I'm going to have a more comprehensive video for just Zelda once I've experienced a bit more of it. I am in school, I do have midterms, I can't play it non-stop like I would like to. So when I kind of get more of a feeling for the overall narrative of the game, I'll make a video that kind of discusses my general impressions. Thus far, fucking thrilled. But I'll say that for another time. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about the Switch, where you should get it, if you should get it, anything I didn't cover in the video that you may want answers to, blast it in the comment section or hit me up on Twitter and I will respond as soon as I can. So thanks. As always, guys, you're the best. See ya.